Welcome to From the Edge, the official podcast of the 200-voice chorus of Westerly, with your host, Ryan Saunders. On today's episode, Ryan sits down with Andrew to talk about the upcoming concert by TENET, the chorus taking the Verdi Requiem to Providence, and much more. And now, gather your kids, parents, grandparents, and pets around the internet, and welcome to From the Edge.
Well, welcome. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello to all of you fine fans of the chorus of Westerly out there. Welcome to From the Edge, the official podcast of the chorus of Westerly. And we're delighted that you came back after our last episode where 17 people talked for a half an hour simultaneously. But this week, you'll be pleased to know there are only 4 people in the room that we know of. And one of them, I'm Ryan Saunders, by the way, is Andrew Howell, music director of the chorus of Westerly.
Hi, good to be here.
How are you today, dear?
I'm wonderful.
Yeah?
How are you?
I'm great. I mean, we moved out of my office and we moved to the conference room upstairs to do this.
Very roomy.
And we have Ben and Dave. They're at the other end of our conference table. Like, if you could see this right now, imagine like 6 barges connected, and they're at the other end. Sort of along those lines.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever works. Well, hey, we're back because you demanded more, and unfortunately this week, or fortunately, depending on how it is, we've had family situations because we all have kids. Well, you and I don't have kids. We seem to make that joke too many times, but
I have kids.
Harvey's tending to his kids. Ashley's tending to her daughter, and Jessica's tending to her kids, which is basically the grants that she's writing right now, some serious grants. And who else have we had around here? Ted is
manning the office.
He's manning the phone, so it's just me and you. So welcome back to the show. So we have we're going to talk about a little bit about upcoming events this week, and we'll see where else things go here. So coming up, on Sunday, March 6th. So it's the end of February. First of all, I'm so happy it's the end of February. I hate February with all my soul. Like really, I don't.
After last year, I understand that.
No, not even just last year. I'm sorry, February birthday people. And I know well, here's interesting. A good thing about February is your son, Henry.
He's basically March, though. It's February 29th.
Yeah, but he's February 29th, and this is 2016. So what do we have, boys, on coming up? We have an actual...
He's finally turning 1.
It's amazing. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome.
After 4 years.
Can you imagine the parties
exciting.
he can have when he's like in
We're
high
actually
school
having a
college?
pirate party, so that's pretty
that'd
exciting.
Be great there. Excellent. Well, so that's a good part of February. So people were born in February, but beyond that, I have
forget Valentine's Day.
I have lots of problems with the month of February. First of all, how do you say the word? How do you say the month?
February.
Yeah, right.
There's an R in there.
But some people say February. I mean, that messes with me. Why is there an R in the word? Secondly, what's up with the 28 or 29 days? I mean, like, honest to freaking Lord, like, you can't, Mom, that's freaking is not a swear, by the way. Well, she's going to call me out on that one. But it's why do we have 28 or 29 days? It's like they messed up when they were putting all together the calendars, and they're, anyway, I don't like February. It's just
Thank God it's almost March.
I know, but I got my heating bill today for the month of February, and it was the lowest I've ever had at a heating bill. So,
wow.
Yeah, because it's been so warm, and Boston and Providence have never had more days or something like this over 50 degrees. So. Wow. But it's hilarious.
So maybe February's turning around for you.
It could be. I mean, I think it is. I always wanted to move down south. I think I'm getting my wish.
Today's weather report brought to you by Bess Eaton.
My point being is actually
Coffee
right now we haven't had them. Where Ted, go get the free. He's not even here. I need to send him a telepathic message. Anyway, but your office yesterday was about 90 degrees in your office because the heating system went crazy. So I got to remember to turn the heating system back on when we leave because I shut it off. But all right, that's. Neither here nor there. By the time you listen to this, hopefully, and I stop talking, it'll be March. And on Sunday, March 6th, we have our second concert in the Kent Hall Masters series, which is featuring a group called...
TENET. Yes, TENET is a fabulous early music ensemble based out of New York City. They are a rostered ensemble, which means that they can do any type of concert that they want, from several singers up to a much larger ensemble, and they perform all over New England, but specifically being based in New York City. This particular concert they are doing is one that I had the pleasure of seeing last year. And they are 3 ladies that are heading up their performance are going to be singing music from the early 17th century that is based off of an ensemble called the Concerto delle Donne.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's very exciting, which basically means the Concert of Women. So a women's ensemble. But this was from a group, based off of a group from the late 16th century called the Concerto delle Donne, which was kind of one of the earlier women's ensembles. And it became very much the in thing in Italy in the early 17th century for a court to have a group of women, a little small trio ensemble, and they called them the Concerto delle Donne, and they had a lot of music written for them. This particular group at the court of Ferrara, Duke of Ferrara, I believe.
Home of what? Home of the Ferrari, right?
Probably not, but okay, yeah.
No.
Is it? Oh, okay. You know that. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's an Italian car. Ferrari. They started in Ferrara. I don't know.
We'll fact check this before the end of the day.
From the village of Maserati.
Yeah, that's right. The oldest village in the world. So this group,
mate of the Concerto delle Donne. I like it more. Sorry, keep going.
This group inspired a lot of composers, both men and women, and gave voice to many women composers. And they wrote some really virtuosic and florid music for them because they were just absolutely incredible musicians. Well, this group of three ladies in Tenet are basically bringing them back to life again and doing a lot of the music from that time period. So all fabulous musicians, and they have a group, I believe, of 3 continuo players with them as well, that will give us a real treat here in the beginning of March.
And we have their actual, you just imagine pieces of paper, and that's what we have. So their continuo group is, they have a harpsichord, a viola da gamba, a Baroque guitar, and I can't say this now, a theorbo?
Theorbo.
What is a theorbo?
I don't know.
Well, they're bringing one.
I'm pretty sure it's a giant early guitar or some type of a.
That's
awesome. It's a stringed instrument.
So by the next podcast, we will make sure that we know what a
theorbo is. We will look that up.
And the concert, which is it's taking place on Sunday, March 6, 2016. Here in our Kent Hall of the Chorus of Westerly. It's a 3:00 performance. The tickets are very reasonably priced, and you can get them at any point online at chorusofwesterly.org, or you can call us at 401-596-8663. I always got to work on that there. But
you did great.
The three three ladies of the Concerto delle Donne there are Jolie Greenleaf, Molly Quinn, and Virginia Warnken-Kelsey. And Jolie and Virginia are they were here in the fall, and they sang with us on our concert this past November, so we've heard them here before. And what we'll do is we'll actually take a short break right now. You can hear a little ad for this concert and hear them in the background making some music, and hear the soft tones of Amy Blanchett, I think, doing the narration. And after a minute or so, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about some of the performers that'll be on this concert, our friends Jolie, Molly, and Virginia, and their continuo quartet, it looks like. So you're listening to From the Edge of the Chorus of Westerly. We'll be right back.
Tenet, the preeminent New York City-based early music ensemble, will be delighting Westerly audiences with a single performance on Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. at the George Kent Performance Hall as part of the Chorus of Westerly's Kent Hall Masters Series. This acclaimed group is renowned for their innovative programming and virtuosic singing. Their charming trio of sopranos will perform The Secret Lover, a rich, eloquent program inspired by Italy's first professional female composers, singers, and instrumentalists. Come listen and be carried away by the music, history, and romance of Tenet's captivating performance. Tenet's concert, The Secret Lover, takes place on Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. in the Chorus of Westerly's George Kent Performance Hall, located at 119 High Street in downtown Westerly. Tickets are available by calling 401-596-8663 or online at chorusofwesterly.org. Tenet, presented by the Chorus of Westerly, is made possible through generous support from the Westerly Hospital and the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts.
Welcome back to From the Edge. We're here with the Chorus of Westerly, Ryan Saunders, along with Andrew Howell. So last night, we're going to keep talking about Tenet, and I know the segue to this is not going to make any sense. So last night, I was driving home, and there was nothing on the radio in which to listen, and I'm not kidding. And I'm a big talk radio guy and sports guy, and you're in the middle of... There was a PC game, Friars game on. I listened to a little bit, but that wasn't capturing my interest. So I put the scan button on for the first time in ever, and I picked up 1090 AM, which is WBAL, Baltimore. And, the AM radio waves at night are amazing how far they go. But what was on there was the Republican debate. And I have to tell you that I have not watched or listened to any of these Republican debates. But, man, I picked the right one to listen to because last night's was bonkers. But I got a segue here.
Okay.
I mean, it was just the stuff coming out of a certain billionaire's mouth last night and the dogfighting that was happening between his friends from Florida and Texas was unbelievable. It was great theater to the point when I got home, my wife had fallen asleep upstairs, my boys were asleep, but all these Legos were on the floor. But I had to keep watching this thing because I was like, I have to see how this plays out. But I was getting stressed by what I heard, so I was building Lego creations. Anyway, the whole side of this is I kept going on the internet to fact check all of the things that was coming out of this New York billionaire's mouth. And so during the break here, we fact checked some of the things coming out of my mouth on the previous segment.
All of it is completely
So
untrue.
first of all, the Ferrari is not from Ferrari, Italy. I did make that up.
Ferraro.
It's
Ferrara.
from Maranello, Italy. That's right, which is just south of Cleveland. And then the
Fact check.
Therabo is the Therabo was an Italian soccer player. What is it? So did you look that up too?
Theorbo is a large lute with the neck extended to carry several long bass strings used for accompaniment in 17th and early 18th century music. So I was actually mostly correct.
You were actually mostly correct. That's wonderful.
Excellent.
That's fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Therabos. The Therabos love me. I'm winning the Therabos. Okay. I'm telling you, look, I know this is not related to Tenet. But I used to be a big political junkie, particularly when I was younger in my college years, and I've been stressed out by watching the election cycle.
Any comments are not comments of the course of Westerly,
they're mine.
but strictly of our executive
Have you
director,
noticed
Ryan
I haven't
Saunders.
made a political statement or said a name? My point being is that I actually find the whole process the whole political process fascinating.
Yes,
and
it is.
Once upon a time, I was a history major, and I like this, but last night was just mind-boggling to me of the debates and how the modern technological world works. But that's all aside. But let me tell you, my car ride home was so interesting after that point in time.
I'm sure.
Let's get back to Tenet.
You should have been listening to Tenet instead.
Well, I did think that, and that's a very good segue. And I thought, what I need, and I didn't have anything on my iPod. Or my iPhone, the iPod part of it, and I didn't have a CD. But as it turns out, they're actually releasing a big album release.
They are releasing this concert that they're doing.
This is the first one.
The day before, they will be releasing the CD of the Secret Lover performance that they've been doing for a little while now. And so people will be able to get that probably in all the places that you would normally buy your music.
And I think they're having a release party in the city on Friday night, and then they're actually going to bring them here to sell them to the public for the first time. So you're going to get this concert, kind of get to see their brand new program. They'll have their new CD release, and then I'm sure they'll have it on things like iTunes and places like that coming out afterwards. But the performers on there, as we said, we have the three women who are the featured act of all of this is Jolie Greenleaf, who she and Virginia Wark and Kelsey were here when we sang. What did we sing in the fall?
Mozart.
That's right. They came and sang
and Schubert and Haydn.
There was a concert. I do remember the Solemn Vespers and
yes.
Things like so. They were here, and so that's a really neat. Molly hasn't sung with us.
She has not sung with us yet.
But I'm sure that'll probably happen down the line there. And in fact, I think, and I might be mistaken about this, but this group was just in Cuba. Because I'm performing down in Cuba doing something, and I'm not sure what. But if you go on their Tenet Facebook page, and you have to Google Tenet, T-E-N-E-T, which is really easy because if you spell it backwards, you get it right. But then put NYC, and you can see all this stuff. But they did a whole exchange concert down in Cuba. So this is a group that is very active, but they also have their, for Jeffrey, Emily, Hank, and Daniel, their Continua players, they have a roster of instrumentalists and other singers that they work with for different projects. So there's...
Yeah, they do Monteverdi's Vespers.
There's several dozen people on their roster when they put things together. So we're getting this particular flavor. So it'll be a real treat. I hope you can check them out. Again, their website, I think, is tenetnyc.org. If you want to take a look at what... We can check that at the next break, too, here. So we have Tenet coming in. And then after Tenet... we just had a staff meeting where we just talked about the whole season, so we should probably remember this. But after Tenet, the next Next guest group we have coming in is the Dartmouth Airs are going to come in and sing in the hall. The April 9th, I think, or somewhere.
Yes, Saturday, April 9th.
Yep,
will
and
be
the night
Dartmouth
before,
Airs.
actually, though, our kids the children of the chorus are going to give a free concert.
We have for the second time, we are doing a children's program concert that will feature all of the various levels of singers in the Chorus of Westerly. So from our youngest training choristers through the older girls and the boys, and hopefully our teenage boys as well. We got to figure that out. Will all be a part of this concert. So that's a way to show them all off. They'll do pieces individually as the little groups that they rehearse in, and then they'll do a couple of pieces all together. But overall, it's just to give them a chance to show off in a different setting than something like the Verdi Requiem, and get them to do some other repertoire for fun, and get a little broader experience out of it.
And it's a free concert.
And it's a free concert, Friday, April 8th.
And you got that on Friday, got Dartmouth on Saturday, and then we roll forward a couple weeks later to April 23rd, and we just scheduled a new event, which we know a little bit about, but you want to tell us about what this is called?
Sure. We have recently titled this program Anything Goes because we didn't know what we were going to do. But Ashley, who you've heard on this podcast before.
Ryan Shea.
Yes, and myself will be giving a recital along with a dinner on, is it a Friday?
It's a Saturday night. Saturday.
I don't know. Saturday, April 23rd. So Ashley will be singing, and I will be playing the piano, and we have a very varied program of art song and arias and Broadway type things, and so people can come out and have a nice meal, schmooze, and have some drinks at the bar, and then hear Ashley and I perform.
That sounds pretty
awesome. Should be fun, yeah.
We will talk more about that probably on our April podcast, but we'll make sure this is all on our website, which is chorusofwesterly.org. And then Ben on the other side of the glass here has just corrected me. It's tenetnyc.com, not .org. Forget that .org stuff. What does that mean? Anyway, we'll take another little break. You can hear Tenet again and hear Amy's sultry tones talking about, well, it is The Secret Lover. This is From the Edge. Brian Saunders, Andrew Howell, Chorus of Westerly. We'll be back.
Woo!
Tenet, the preeminent New York City-based early music ensemble, will be delighting Westerly audiences with a single performance on Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. at the George Kent Performance Hall as part of the Chorus of Westerly's Kent Hall Masters Series. This acclaimed group is renowned for their innovative programming and virtuosic singing. Their charming trio of sopranos will perform The Secret Lover, a rich, eloquent program inspired by Italy's first professional female composers, singers, and instrumentalists. Come listen and be carried away by the music, history, and romance of Tenet's captivating performance. Tenet's concert, The Secret Lover, takes place on Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. in the Chorus of Westerly's George Kent Performance Hall, located at 119 High Street in downtown Westerly. Tickets are available by calling 401-596-8663 or online at chorusofwesterly.org. Tenet, presented by the Chorus of Westerly, is made possible through generous support from the Westerly Hospital and the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts.
Welcome back to From the Edge. We had, for the last 17 and a half minutes at the break, we had a rousing political discussion where we all decided that we are voting Van Winkle Freitas in 2016.
Yes.
That would be a ticket right there.
Absolutely.
That is a ticket to paradise, if it's anything. So,
if it's anything.
Is it a ticket to paradise or a stairway to paradise? Or
ticket to ride?
And it's a ticket to ride to paradise? Two tickets to paradise. And then you the Stairways to Heaven. Oh, well, there's a Stairway to Heaven, apparently. That's right. It's a good song there, too. Speaking of Stairway to Heaven, let's talk about funeral services in choral music. And let's make a segue to the granddaddy of all. The Verdi Requiem. Yeah, you got to give me some. We should have some Dies Irae music playing right now here. So
let's just imagine that in the background.
The chorus. We got the bass drum up there.
We could just play the bass drum.
The bass drum would be awesome. So the Verdi Requiem, Chorus of Westerly, going to perform it over 2 nights. The 14th and 15th of May, I think.
Yes, right here in Westerly on the 14th of May, and up at Veterans Memorial Auditorium on the 15th. Vets, yes, indeed. And extra special this time is we are going to bring in Maestro David Hill to conduct the chorus in this. So we are deep into our preparations right now for the Verdi, which is a very intense and not tremendously easy score, but the chorus is doing very well and really starting to nail down some parts of it. And we are going to bring him in for the final hurrah when the orchestra and soloists come in, and David Hill is going to lead us through this wonderful masterwork.
But you're preparing the chorus.
I'm preparing the chorus.
Yeah, they're not just like flying blind with cyberbase for the next. Well, maybe they are.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
So why? I mean, I know this answer because obviously I work here. But can you explain to someone who has no idea about the Verdi Requiem why it's worth them attending? Why the chorus is investing so much time and money and taking it to Providence? Why is this a big deal?
So Verdi is known for opera composition primarily, and this Requiem that he wrote is probably as close to an opera as you could get in the Requiem setting, Requiem being a mass for the dead. And, it gives plenty of material for making tremendous musical images, painting tremendous musical images, and he really does with the Day of Wrath and Day of Anger and the trumpet calls and all of that. There's so much in it, and it's just a mammoth piece of music. He took it to a scale that it had never been to before, and really just it's something that you have to experience live to really get the full amount out of it. This is the kind of thing that you can certainly listen to a recording, and it's a great piece, incredibly enthralling right from the beginning, but when it's experienced live can just be absolutely life-changing. I mean, it really is just an incredibly deeply moving piece of music, and also will knock your socks off because it's so enormous.
So why we typically do 2 concerts here in the hall on the same day, and I understand the length of it, but why is this piece, why take the chorus to Providence with this piece?
Well, we haven't been to Providence in a long time, and it's nice to get out of Westerly, as when we talked about it in the first place. If we can make it to Prague, Vienna, and Budapest, why can't we go to Providence?
Yeah.
The last time we went there was with the Stanford Stabat Mater in 1919. It was a very long time ago. In 1999.
Let me tell you about that debate.
So it's been, 17 years or so since we've been to the big city. We've had a lot of support throughout Rhode Island in the Bond Initiative that passed in 2014. And it's nice to be able to show off what we do in a different setting. Veterans Auditorium is a wonderful place to perform, and to be able to bring a piece as big as this is to a space like that made a lot of sense. Bringing in David Hill to conduct it was another good reason for us to shoot for the moon and go out of our hall and do something different. So all of those things together
that's the reason why we're going to do it. So we're going to go, and you can get tickets for that concert by going to the Vets website, which is thevetsri.com.
Not .org.
Not .org. They are .com. But that that is a 1,931 seat hall, so we have plenty of space for you if you want to come up there. But it should be a real treat. We have a 438 seat hall right here in Westerly. We'll be doing it on Saturday night for the people who would like to hear it here in town. And the Sunday performance is actually a matinee. It's at 2:30, and the work is just about 95 minutes or along those lines. So you would be done about 4 o'clock if you went up to Providence, and home by 5. Home
Make a
before
night
5.
of it. Have some dinner up in Providence.
And let me tell you, it is possible, folks who live down here in South County and Western in particular, it is possible to get to Providence and back in the same day.
Unheard of.
It's scary. You don't have to pack a sleeping bag or bring a lunch. You could bring a lunch, I suppose, but you can do it. It is 37 miles from the hall. It is doable. Some people go by it every single day.
Like who?
I don't know, but some people that are driving next to me. But it is well worth it, and we do encourage you to get tickets for that, and that should be quite a thing coming up. Well, folks, we're going to wrap up this edition from the Edge. If you have any questions about the Chorus of Westerly, please give us a call, 401-596-8663. If you'd like to make up facts about Italy or about history at any point in time, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 119 High Street, Westerly, Rhode Island, with your made-up facts, and we'll be happy to read some of them.
We will include them.
Yeah, we
in
can
our
include
show.
them on the way. My favorite thing with with our friend Amy Blanchett is to make up history as I go along when I'm talking to her. You know, like when the Klingons invaded France, led by Napoleon in the 16th century, while they were driving their Ferraris. But of course, that was where the Battle of Waterloo was, and then Richard Nixon was impeached, and that's why George Washington cut down the apple tree. On behalf of the Chorus of Westerly, I'm Ryan Saunders. This is Andrew Howell. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Peace out, home slice.
Dolce cantavi a minuirmi bene, di sentirti al mio cor, gran desir viene, per fare in tutto i giorni miei giocosi. Con me dai più famosi, cantor che quella selva in sen ritiene, che godrete in queste rive amene, ed all'estivo distarrete il boschetto vi attende, il bel giardino, laddove in fra le fronde l'onna, il carreggian mormorando a me vicino. A cantar soggerremo in sul mattino, io con le muse